The cost of not controlling your anger. My son did something wrong. I got angry, not frustrated, angry. And I did what I shouldn't have done. I slammed the door hard, not as punishment, as release, because the anger had to go somewhere and I sent it into a door. And when I did that, when I slammed the door behind me, a bunch of baseball hats that were hanging fell down. In the bunch was my wife's cap. She was sitting right next to where the hats fell. I picked up the hat off the floor and I threw it, angrily, directly at my desk. It hit the desk and slid off onto the floor, except it didn't just fall on the floor. It hit my wife in the face. And in that moment, when I saw what I'd done, I felt something I hadn't felt since my stroke. Complete clarity, no fog, no delay, just immediate, absolute understanding of what just happened. I had let my anger control me, and the person who paid for it was the person I love most. Emotional dysregulation after a stroke doesn't look like loss of control. It looks like your brain choosing anger before it chooses thought. Before my stroke, I was someone who thought before I acted. I was someone who could feel anger coming and choose a different response. I was someone in control of my reactions. After my stroke, something changed in my ability to do that. And I'm not talking about being more emotional or sensitive. I'm talking about the pathway between the emotion and the action becoming shorter, faster, harder to interrupt. After my stroke, something changed in my ability to do that. And I'm not talking about being more emotional or sensitive. I'm talking about the pathway between the emotion and the action becoming shorter, faster, harder to interrupt. There's a part of your brain that sits between what you feel and what you do. It's supposed to be a filter. It's supposed to ask, is this the right action? Is this going to hurt someone? That part of my brain didn't work the same way anymore. There's a part of your brain that sits between what you feel and what you do. It's supposed to be a filter. It's supposed to ask, is this the right action? Is this going to hurt someone? That part of my brain didn't work the same way anymore. I could feel anger, but I couldn't always stop the action that came with it. My wife got hit in the face by an object thrown in anger by the person she trusts to be safe around her. My son witnessed his father lose control, not metaphorically, physically, slam a door, throw something in anger, hit the person he loves. And in that moment, my son saw something in me that children should never see in a parent, the inability to manage his own emotions. My wife didn't need my apology in that moment. She needed to know, will this happen again? And I didn't have an answer because I didn't understand why it happened the first time. When you hurt someone because you can't control your brain, sorry is not enough. Repair is the only word that matters. And here's what I didn't say but should have. My wife had to decide in that moment whether she felt safe around me. My son had to process what it meant that his father's anger could become action without warning. That's not my burden to carry. That's theirs. And they're the ones who pay for it every time I lose control. Repair happens in behavior change. And behavior change after a stroke with emotional dysregulation means rebuilding the pathway between feeling and action. I had to start treating anger like the symptom it is, not as something to express, but as a signal that something is wrong. The anger itself is not the problem. What I do with it is. So I built a system. When I feel anger arriving, that heat, that urgency, I name it, out loud if I can. I'm angry, I need to step away. Then I step away, not to cool down, to create distance between the feeling and any action I might take. I had to rebuild the time between feeling and acting, make it longer, make it big enough to fit a choice in there. You cannot heal what you don't acknowledge. You cannot change what you don't measure. I also had to accept that I can't always stop the anger, but I can always stop the action, even if it takes work, even if it takes every ounce of focus I have. The action is the only thing that actually matters. And I had to do this in front of my wife and son, not privately, not in theory, in real time, in their presence, showing them that when the anger came up, I could choose differently, not sometimes, not when I felt like it, every time. That's reconstruction. That's the work nobody talks about when they talk about recovery. I'm not the person I was before the stroke. I can't rely on my automatic emotional regulation anymore. I have to be intentional, conscious, all the time. But I'm also not the person who threw a hat in anger and hit his wife. That person is being rebuilt. Every time I feel anger and choose to step away instead of act, I'm rebuilding him. And my wife and son are watching that rebuilding. Not perfectly, not always successfully, but consistently. That consistency is what rebuilds trust. Emotional reconstruction means becoming someone whose internal chaos doesn't become external harm. I learned something from that moment that I need to say plainly. Your brain damage is not an excuse for hurting people. It's an explanation. And the moment you understand the explanation, you have to do the work to change the outcome. This episode is different from the first six because the first six were about things the stroke took from me. This one is about something the stroke made me do to someone else. If you're watching this and you're a survivor dealing with emotional dysregulation, or if you're someone who loves a survivor and you've been hurt by their anger, I want you to know this is fixable. Not easy, not fast, but fixable. The anger isn't the problem. The inability to stop what comes after the anger is the problem. And that part is rebuilding right now, for me, and it can for you. I am Lucci. This is Rebuilt.